Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Tom Talks. Sorry it's been a while. I have been busy, I've been sick, and I've not been doing this. But here we go. I've got an episode for you today. In today's episode, I'm going to talk to you about my trip to Turkey, what I got up to, and my thoughts on the country. I went to Turkey late April. Kind of saw it as like a nice holiday getaway for my birthday. I went with a couple mates. Yeah, it was good. It was good. Anyway, first off, I was just there. I was there for just under a week and got a fair bit done. I think we went Monday to Friday. Um, I was a little bit worried about flying there, to be honest. I mean, I hate flying in airports in general. A bit stressful. You're tired. You just want to teleport there. But with all this war bollocks going on in Iran and the US, Turkey borders Iran, so I was a bit like, oh, it'd just be the luck of the universe just to go down, you know what I mean? However, my confidence was low, but I thought, worst case, I'd die. Best case, I get a nice holiday. So I got on the plane and we survived. It was actually a really weird flight. We had these, I want to assume Turkish people. They, regardless where they were from, doesn't matter where they're from. I don't think they'd ever been on a plane before because they acted just so weird. Like my anxiety was spiking a bit because of just how they moved. Around, like the seatbelt sign said, put your seatbelts on. Everyone sat down. Yet they would get up and roam about, and they'd be told so many times by the flight attendants, "Hey, sit down." And these people would be just like pull grunt noises at them and just push them out away, and you're like, "Oh my god." But I don't know. Maybe they just hadn't been on a flight before. But we landed. It was all good. We all decided that seeing as we were there for 3 whole days, obviously Monday and Friday were travel days, so we had Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we get to pick an activity each that we wanted to do for our day. So for example, on Tuesday, Jack wanted to do a boat tour in the mountains. On Wednesday, Sam wanted to go scuba diving, and on Thursday, I wanted to chill out by the beach and get a massage. Everyone was happy with that. We were just a few hours away from Antalya on the coast, so that's pretty chill. My main goal for this holiday was to chill out and relax. If you haven't heard me on streams, I like to set checkpoints throughout the year. So I'd say April/May, July, August, October, and then Christmas is one. I actually have only had one checkpoint, and that was this holiday. I've been off sick for the last, well, I haven't been off sick, I've been sick for the last month. It's not been fun, but I wouldn't count it as having time off because I've just been in pain and I haven't felt good. I haven't rested well enough. So I've got one at the end of September. But anyway, day one, the boat tour was pretty chill. We just got picked up by a coach. Went for a lovely drive up in the mountains, and we got out and we hopped on this boat. And this boat was obviously like 2 stories high, seats everywhere, bunch of tourists, myself included, and we just went into these like mountains. It was difficult to describe. It's like crystal clear mountain water. Mountains went quite high. Like you could saw some trees that were submerged by the water. It was nice. It was a nice trip. There was a nice breeze. Just nice just to kind of chill about. The only disappointing thing was that the end of the route was a waterfall. But it was like, I'm taller than that waterfall. And I barely got to see it. I enjoyed getting there rather than being there to see it. But no, it was chill. It was nice. And then we went back to like some like lake area. Sam had a swim around there. Me and Jack were like, I can't be asked to get changed. Then we got taken to like this outlet. Now, if you know like some European countries, well, you know that they'll have these outlooks where everything's really cheap. Gucci bags, Louis Vuitton shirts, just Tommy Hilfiger shirts, just like quote unquote rich people items, and you'd be like, they're really cheap. They're fake. They are insanely fake. The football jerseys were hilariously fake. Like you know, the fake rich people stuff. Very minute details to make them fake, but they're worth it. But the football shirts, holy moly, they may as well have just been made out of paper. They were terrible. I remember me and Jack found some like Tung Tung Sahul t-shirts there, and there was a t-shirt I saw. It had a Bugs Bunny spanking Lola Bunny, and she was just pretty much just naked. I think it was. Oh man, it was rough. I was like, is that really what they sell here? But it was alright. The trip was alright. It was a nice trip outside. Yeah. I wouldn't do it again, but it was all good. It was all good. Day 2, scuba diving. This is where you get the fun story from me. Scuba diving. We were all a bit nervous. Jack really nervous, me in the middle. Sam pretty chill, but had some nerves because it's something none of us had ever done. Now we went 10 minutes down the road from the resort to this like seaside dock area, and we jumped on this boat. And you know, I was a bit anxious. I was like, "Hey, this could be fun. This could be really fun." We get handed our contracts, and I notice a bunch of spelling mistakes. It's like, so this contract's just like illegitimate from the get-go. Then whether I sign it or not, it's illegitimate. Doesn't mean anything. Cool. So sign it anyway, and we get kitted out. We go in groups. It was us 3, and then we had a solo traveller with us as well. And we're putting the wetsuits on, and we're there. And we get we sit down on the end of the boat, and we're getting fitted with the tanks and everything. And as they're equipped, we have had like a quick briefing about it, but we've been like equipped. I go to stand up, and I'm noticing I can't stand up. The tank on my back is stupidly heavy, and I'm like, I can't move. And then Jack and Sam also noticed they can't move, and we're about to die. Like this is weird. Anyway, next thing is Jack gets thrown in. Like he's been given everything, his goggles, his mouth breather, but he's been thrown in the water. And me and Sam are like, Jack! Oh, Jack's gone. But oh god! But luckily Jack came up to the surface, catch his breath, and was like, oh no, you float. And then one by one we get chucked in. So we are all in the sea right now. They have like hitched a rope from the boat to the rock, and we all have to shimmy down the rope. And we're on the rope, and the instructor says, right, goggles on, mouth breather on. I want you to like kind of let your arms loose so you sink under the water, but keep holding onto that rope, and we'll watch you. And you got to do it for 5 minutes breathing underwater. And we're like, bloody hell. So we're all doing it. Me and Sam are struggling. We're like, oh, this is rough. Jack's fine. Jack's absolutely fine. So they actually say, like, you come with us. So he swims down. It was only like, 5 meters deep? 6 meters? 7 meters deep? I don't know. It wasn't that deep. Goes down to the rock. There was like a rock that everyone had to head to. And me and Sam were like, where's Jack gone? And I look underneath and I said, oh, he's gone. And Sam's telling me, Sam's the A person, by the way. He's up for most things. And he's telling me, I don't like this. I don't like this. And I'm thinking, well, if you don't like it and you're usually confident, well, what the fuck am I thinking? Gee, I'm scared shitless now. So then they take Sam, and Sam swims underneath. So it's just me. It's just me to go underwater. And I'm like, okay, it's fine. Just give it a go. So, as they say, right, swim down to the rock, I start swimming, I'm underwater, I'm breathing, I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. All the nerves are gone, everything's chill. I get to the rock with Sam and Jack. Jack has, he's getting his like videos taken and pictures taken because he's feeding some fish with some food that was given. And Sam's just like, hold on to the rock, we're chill here. And I'm still not used to the breathing thing, so I'm like, look, I'm going to get some quote-unquote real air. So I go up to the top, take my mouthpiece off. The swim instructor comes up. He's like, the scuba diver instructor comes up. He's like, what's wrong? And I say, oh, I'm just trying to get used to it. I'll come back down. He's like, okay, put the mouthpiece on, head back down. Sam helps me get back on the rock. I'm still waiting for Jack. I'm like, oh my god, this is rough. Like I'm getting bored. I want to be constantly doing something, because when I wasn't thinking about anything, I was thinking about the breathing and it messed with my head. And I looked down and I see my flipper like kind of coming off. So I pointed a scuba. This is all underwater. Pointed the scuba teacher like my flipper's coming, and he's not understanding like what I'm trying to signal. So I point to him saying like I'm going up. Can you help me? And as we go up, I have to take the mouthpiece out of my mouth when I'm above the like the waves. I'm saying to him, my flipper's come off. As I swum up, my flipper's fallen off. Would you be able to help, like, get it for me, please? And as I'm saying this, I am taking in so much water. I am just swallowing so much seawater because the waves are heavy and everything. So he's gone down. I'm kind of like at an angle anyway in the water because the flipper's missing in one foot. And I'm taking on more and more and more water. And I'm just slowly finding myself start sinking. And I'm thinking, oh my god, I'm drowning right now. I was more nervous underwater than I was drowning. So I was like, okay, he's going to put the flipper on. I feel him put the flipper back on. And he says, you're coming back down. And I think to myself, if I go back down with all this water inside me, I'm not coming up. So I just say, listen, mate, I'm just going to get out because this hasn't gone well for me. So I swam to the boat, got out, and slept for 4 hours. It was actually the nicest sleep I had whilst I was on holiday as well. On top of the boat on a sun lounger cushion thing. It was amazing. However, I nearly drowned, so it wasn't that great. Anyway, day 3. Day 3 is... we got a bit of a funny story here. So we find like some cool bars along the beach. We just chill out in some really comfy chairs, have a nap. Just the guys have a beer, because obviously I wasn't drinking at that point. It's just chilling out, doing our thing. Then, massage time. One of my favourite things to have is a massage. You know, I'm the massage connoisseur at the friendship group. So we head down to what I call the dungeons, because we're in Turkey and their massages are like underground essentially. We rock up. Sam's had like 1 or 2 massages. Jack's never had one. Now, they both thought it'd be smart if they wore swimming trunks to the massage, and I was obviously just going to wear shorts and my boxers underneath. So they ask us what massage we'd like. Sam opts for the deluxe Turkish bath, and myself and Jack just a traditional full body massage, you know, just to feel relaxed. Jack asked me which one I was doing. I said I'm doing that, and he said he'd do the same. Can't go wrong with that. The best way to describe her, without sounding bad, is like an Oompa Loompa. Small and evil. Lady comes out, takes Sam down to even the deeper dungeons. Genuinely, the only light in there was candles. And she just starts laughing down like the corridor chamber, and it starts echoing. And we just hear Sam like, he's gone. He's been taken. So it was just me and Jack. Waited 5 minutes, and these 2 lovely, I assume, Thai ladies came out and said, hey, follow us to your rooms. And I said, good luck, Jack. Enjoy your massage. It's going to be the nicest thing ever. And he's like, oh, you too, Tom. So we go off. And then we end up in the same room, and we see 2 beds. And we just laugh. We go, yeah, it is what it is. Like, it's fine. But because Jack's got swimming trunks off, they go take them off. And obviously, that's all he's wearing. So I start like biting my knuckle, trying not to laugh, because Jack's kind of gone, because that's his first massage. He's been told to get naked in front of some strangers and me. So I turn around, give him some privacy. I don't know what the ladies were doing. He gets undressed, gets on the table, I'm on the table, and I'm just, for the next like 10 minutes, I'm just trying not to laugh because his reaction was jokes. Anyway, the massage is going on, it's nice, I'm really enjoying it, and I hear from Jack's table, is that too hot? And Jack goes, no, and I'm thinking, what the bloody hell what do you mean it's too hot? Next thing I know, she's got the hot stones out, and I'm thinking, oh my god, that is like molten lava on my back. She says to me, is it too hot? And I'm thinking, nah, it's bearable, it's fine, thank you. However, I'm a pasty white guy. I burn easily. So all down the back of my leg was sunburnt. And she took 1 stone in one hand and rubbed it on my back, which is fine. the other stone, she didn't want to put on a shelf. She wanted to put it directly on the back of my thigh, on the worst part of the sunburn. So I kind of let out a little yelp and basically start crying because of how painful it is and how much it stings. And she did that for the next 10 minutes, whatever. They leave, me and Jack are like on our backs at that point. And Jack's like, holy moly, Tom, you were right, that was amazing. And I'm just kind of like whimpering. He's like, what's wrong? I said, they put the hot stones on my sunburn, look. Like a crispy red, nearly burnt, like just even more on the back of my thigh. And Jack just starts pissing himself. Not an ounce of mercy or, I don't know what you'd say, like feeling sorry for me. So, for once I had the worst massage. Sam came back, said it was the best one of his life. So, good for them. And they were the 3 days. They were the 3 days just chilling out, essentially, doing some side quests. I would 100% do scuba diving again. I really would. I just had a rough day doing it. But yeah, overall, I really liked Turkey. I would 100% go back. I didn't get to try much Turkish food, but they did an egg and mince pasta, which was so fucking good. Like, it was just like mince with like an egg in the middle. Unreal. Me and Sam just kept going back for it. I think it made Jack sick at one point. I think he tried it and didn't like it. But everyone in Turkey was so nice, and the area we went to was so great. I was a bit annoyed we couldn't really swim in the ocean by the resort. Like, they had signs up saying we couldn't do it, which, you know, sucks. And that's one of the main reasons I wanted to go, because one of my best memories is being in Rhodes with my mates, just eating waves. But it was nice to be out of the country, so I would give Turkey, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. Not bad. Not bad, not bad. I don't think I'm going to go abroad for the rest of the year. This is my grind year, but it was a much needed getaway. Fun memories, fun experiences, fun times. But anyway, let me know what you think of Turkey, if you've ever been, and where should I go next. Take care, gamers. All the best.